Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Language and Learning by Jeff Buck. That's me. And today we're going to start English 1. We're going to do Unit 1. This is a course that I taught at a university in Korea. We called it English 1, but it was really A1-A2 if you're familiar with the CEFR system. And the topic is meeting people. First, let's look at the theory behind my lesson plan format. So scaffolding is an important part of teaching and learning, regardless of the topic, not just language learning and language teaching. So the American psychologist Jerome Bruner broke down the process of learning into 6 steps. And I'm just going to go over this briefly. You can check out my video on this for more information. So recruitment, reduction in degrees of freedom, direction maintenance, marking critical features, frustration control, and demonstration or modeling. And I, Jeff Buck, have reworded his system and changed the order for ELT purposes. So I call recruitment interest. Instead of reduction in degrees of freedom, I say simplification. Direction maintenance is focus. Marking critical features is noticing. Frustration control is assisting, and demonstration or modeling is demonstration or modeling. And the order is simplification, which takes place during the lesson planning stage before the lesson, and then the rest take place during the lesson. Interest at the beginning of the lesson and each activity. Demonstration at the beginning of each activity. Focus throughout the lesson. Assisting throughout the lesson. And noticing throughout the lesson. So again, for more information on that, check out my video on scaffolding. And the lesson objectives. This format comes from the Trinity Diploma system. Our communicative objective, language objective, phonological objective, and context. So for example, today's communicative objective is to talk about how to meet and greet people, new people. Today's language objective is to be able to use, so this would be grammar or lexis, and today we have grammar, to be able to use or to be able to ask and answer yes/no questions. And the phonological objective is to be able to use and pronounce contractions correctly. And the context is any situation in which you meet new people. All right. So let's get into the lesson. And this video is for, and this series is for teachers and learners. So if you're a teacher, you can use this lesson as is or modify it according to your needs or create your own lesson or lessons using the same or a similar format. If you're a learner, you can follow along and do this with me and ask questions in the comment section. And if you want, you can sign up. You can contact me to take lessons with me. So right off the bat in the warm-up, we start talking to get students talking so they're not afraid to make mistakes, so I can assess their skills and knowledge. So meeting people, they're going to interview me, the teacher. And this should take, 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 4 or 5 if the students are courageous enough. So they can just ask me whatever they want. And I ask them, what do you want to know about me? What do you want to ask me? And I have maps up there to guide the conversation a little bit. Again, I taught this course in Korea. So I have a map of Korea, so students can talk about where they're from in Korea, and a map of the world to help them ask me questions about myself. And, depending on how things go, I might even have the students at this point talk to their partner, talk to a partner. All right, then we go to a dialogue. This is part of the scaffolding process, so now they have some structure to work with. Some parts are underlined. In this case, names, places, majors, hobbies. Okay. And those are things that they will have to change to personalize the dialogue. So I'm going to go through it. You can listen and repeat if you want, or just listen. All right. So we have Daniel and Gia. So Daniel says, "Hi, how are you?" Gia says, "I'm fine, and you?" "I'm pretty good. My name's Daniel." "It's nice to meet you, Daniel." "I'm Gia." "Nice to meet you too, Gia. So where are you from?" "I'm from Daegu. How about you?" "Wow, I'm from New Zealand." "Cool. What's your major?" "I'm studying international business. How about you?" "I'm studying fashion design." "So what do you do for fun?" "Oh, I watch movies and play football." "I love movies too, and I like to watch football." "Well, let's hang out sometime." "Definitely. We can watch football or something." And so I go through this with my students. They listen and repeat, and then they practice this with a partner 2 times. Obviously switching roles. Okay. And then there's pronunciation. In this case, it's contractions. And I talk about how it's important to use contractions so you don't sound robotic. So instead of saying, "I am from the United States," it's "I'm from the United States." And I use my fingers to demonstrate contractions. I am, I'm, he is. Then I elicit the contractions once I understand what's happening. He's, she is, she's, it is, it's, we are, we're, you are, there, they are, there. Okay. And the conversation. So what normally happened in teaching in Korea with my students before they were trained by me is they would be given a list of questions like these, and person A would ask them and B answer them, and then they'd switch, and then they'd stop and say, "Teacher, finish." Okay, that's not a real conversation. That's an interview or an interrogation or two robots talking. So anyways, we would go through the questions. They would listen and repeat. "What's your name? Where are you from? What's your major? What do you do in your free time? What kind of food do you like? What kind of movies do you like? Do you want to hang out sometime?" And then they would practice the questions with their partners, again, not using proper conversation format in most, if not all cases. All right. And then I would explain my endless English talking time system, EETT, endless English talking time system. And it's a very simple system. I got frustrated with the meaningless, emotionless, uninteresting robotic conversations that my students had. So I deconstructed the basics of conversations and came up with this. So the foundation is follow-up questions: who, what, when, where, how, why. And also switch questions. How about you? What about you and you? And there are extra questions that students can ask, conversation, people engaging in conversation can ask. What else? What else do you? What else did you? And what did you do after that? And after that, but the foundation is those six follow-up questions: who, what, when, where, how, and why, and the main switch question, how about you? And it works like this. So you have usually two people, but it could be three or four. And for more information on my EET system, check out the video that I have on that. So person A is going to ask a topic question, like, what's your major? And person B is going to say, my major is fashion design or whatever. And then person A is going to ask one or two follow-up questions. Why did you choose that? Or who's your professor? Or what's your favorite class? Etc. And then person B is going to ask a switch question. How about you? What's your major? Or just how about you? And then some follow-up questions. What, when, where, how, why. All right. And that's how it works. And then you can continue. Person B can ask a new topic question, followed by some follow-up questions. And then person A can ask a switch question and follow-up questions. And then person B can start a new, person A can start a new topic question, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Go on endlessly. And this works very effectively, regardless of the level. Students can learn this in 1 to 3 lessons and have real conversations. And conversation is the heart of language learning. And the purpose is for students to have a real conversation, not to read. They can memorize the 7 questions in a minute. Who, what, when, where, how, why, how about you? They should be interested in their partner and ask lots of follow-up questions. And they should speak incomplete sentences, though in normal conversation, we don't always do that. For the purpose of developing the ability to do so, they should try to ask, they should try to speak in complete sentences for the most part. So after I explain this, I give them a new partner, give them new partners, and then they repeat the conversation with their new partner using the system. Okay. And then I give them some feedback at that point and or later. And they repeat the conversation using the system with a new partner. And at some point we go over the grammar, which in today's case would be yes, no questions. Are you Korean? Yes, I am. No, I'm not, etc. The key point, the main problem with yes, no questions for some Asians, Koreans, Chinese, and Japanese in particular would be negative yes, no questions that we would answer with no. So, you aren't Canadian? No, I'm not. They would say, if they're not Canadian, yes, I'm not. That's how Korean grammar works, and I guess Chinese and Japanese as well, and maybe others, I think Russian as well. All right, so after the grammar, they are given a new partner and they repeat the conversation. And after, hopefully, 1 or 2 or 3 partners, they should not be reading. So if you have an hour or an hour and a half lesson and you have a good, 20, 30 minutes of focused conversation, they should be able to work with 3 to 6 partners. Okay. And then if you have time, you can do a review, ask them what they learned. If they have any questions, maybe do a mind map or something. And then for homework, there's writing. Koreans often have a problem writing paragraphs. They do what you see in red. They just list their sentences instead of writing something like you see there in blue, a properly structured paragraph. Okay, so this was unit 1. I hope it was helpful. I'll review my SID fan scaffolding system and my EETT conversation system, at least briefly, in each lesson. There are 12 lessons in this unit, or in this course. So thank you for watching. Please check out units 2 through 12. Have a great day.